So you've won many awards in your career, a Walter Payton Man of the Year award among them. But what does a Musial Award, an award for sportsmanship and extraordinary character, mean to you?
Corey, man, it's a great honor. It's wonderful to be back in the great city of St. Louis, and Mr. Musial has set the bar so high, and to be, mentioned in the same breath as he is, he stood for everything that was good about sports, on the diamond and off the diamond in the community, and to be recognized for some of the things that I've tried to do, and emulate his success is truly an honor.
Multiple foundations, Larry Fitzgerald Enterprises. You have numerous endeavors just dedicated to helping people. Where does that passion for helping others come from?
Well, I've always been kind of surrounded. I mean, I think we're all products of our environment, right? And my mom was in the non-for-profit space as a child growing up, and so I was always around it. I really try to model myself after some of the things she did in service of others. And I knew once I had a chance to have a platform and some capital of my own that I wanted to deploy it in ways that would be beneficial to my community and others around me. And that's something that I've stood true to since I was a child, and I'm always going to stand by that.
You mentioned Stan Musial. What did you know about him? What did you know about this award before you maybe were one of the honorees?
Well, and you can't talk about the St. Louis Cardinals baseball team in the history in the city of St. Louis without including his name. I remember, the first time playing in St. Louis, and we stayed downtown at a hotel, and Busch Stadium was right up the street. And I had never been to St. Louis, and I remember walking down. It was in September. It was the first game of my career, and I remember walking down to Busch Stadium and kind of like doing a lap and seeing all the monuments, the great players that were legends there, and seeing his trophy, seeing his statue, and seeing so many. I know Albert Pujols is up there now, and so many great players that stood for not only excellence on the field but excellence off the field, and that's something that you can say about all the legends. Of the St. Louis Cardinals. They're all not only fabulous players but just tremendous men. You think about Ozzie Smith and the guys of that ilk, and it's a great honor, to be recognized.
You were one of the biggest stars in the NFL during your playing days. Always a lot of eyes on you, a lot of kids wearing Larry Fitzgerald jerseys. How seriously did you take the responsibility of being a good role model?
I know it was really important. As a kid, I got a chance to spend a lot of time with the guys I looked up to. From the Minnesota North Stars like Mike Modano and Twins, Minnesota Twins, Kirby Puckett and Timberwolves, Kevin Garnett and the Vikings. I got a chance to be around Randy Moss and John Randall and Chris Carter. And they were all really terrific people. They were all make time for me, answer my questions, even when I was annoying and nagging them, after they had won or lost games, they always still made time for me. So, it was always in the back of my mind. I didn't know I would be able to make it, and I didn't even know how long I would be able to make it. But I knew that if I ever was afforded the opportunity to do it, that I was going to do it with grace, class, and dignity. And I was going to treat people around me who admire my skill set with the respect that they deserve. And so I was just modeling some of the things that I saw growing up.
As you mentioned, your NFL career started right here in St. Louis. Your first catch on a flea flicker that included a lateral from Hall of Famer Emmitt Smith and a tackle by another Hall of Famer, Aeneas Williams. How do you remember that catch in your debut at the Dome?
I remember just being so nervous. The first play of the game coming to you, drawing up, and I just wanted to go out there and execute and make a play to be able to, help my team and get us some positive momentum. And to be able to play against a legend like Aeneas Williams. Obviously, he started his career in Arizona, and I always admired him, for all his things that he's done on and off the field as well. And so I just really was nervous, and looking across that sideline and seeing Marshall Faulk and Torrey Holt and Orlando Pace and so many great players, on that team, that I really looked up to. My best friend Steven Jackson was over there, and so it was great to be able to compete, and I have a lot of fond memories from my time in St. Louis.
Another connection you have with our town is one of your former quarterbacks, Kurt Warner. Kurt threw more touchdowns to you than anybody else in his career. Why was that relationship special for you? What did you maybe learn from Kurt, maybe beyond football?
Who was it? I never heard of this guy that you said. What's his name? No, I'm teasing. No, I love Kurt immensely. I learned so much from that man. I mean, the lessons, life lessons that I learned from him and Brenda, and how he dealt with adversity, how he always championed for the Lord and wonderful causes here around the valley. I mean, he is the standard in my opinion, and to be able to have his leadership and mentorship in my life at that age really paid dividends for me. And it was great to be able to have his friendship and still do. I just got to be careful of challenging him in any athletic endeavor. The guy can flat out play basketball. He put me up in pickleball not too long ago. So, I still keep in great touch with Kurt and always pulling for him.
Final thought, Saturday will be a night highlighting sportsmanship and the best of what sports can be. What do you think the impact of spotlighting that side of sports can be on some folks?
I think it's really important. I mean, if you think about, where we are in sports, I mean, it's like the me generation in terms of, self-promotion and the dances and all of these things. And if you think about, when Stan was playing, it was always about the team. It was about the city. It was about, the sacrifices that were necessary to be able to hoist those banners that you see at the stadiums. And I always wanted to pay homage to those guys who, laid the groundworks and the pavement for me to be able to walk so smoothly on. And so it's great to be able to come and be recognized for such a tremendous, wonderful accolade as sportsmanship, and be able to spend time with the great Bob Costas and so many other wonderful people that will be in attendance. I'm really looking forward to Saturday.